Welcome, restless souls, to Carmen's Crypt. I'm Carmen Carrion, keeper of forgotten tales and curator of nightmares. You've wandered into my domain, where each week I unearth a fresh horror from the depths of human imagination. In these darkened halls, stories wait like hungry shadows. Each tale we've collected whispers of terrors both ancient and new. From crumbling mansions where something skitters behind the walls, to that strange text message you received at 3 a.m. from a number that shouldn't exist. So gather close. The candles are lit, the shadows grow long, and the witching hour is upon us. Are you prepared to face what lurks in the darkest recesses of Carmen's Crypt? Lock your doors, still your nerves, and remember, here, every fear comes alive. This is Carmen's Crypt. Your sanctuary of scares awaits. Even now, even after everything, I should probably explain who I am, though if you're here, you probably already know. The fashion halls, the Rich Mom walking series that blew up during my UCLA days, the Wellness Wednesday post that my 2.1 million followers either love or love to hate. I'm that girl who's so real about influencer life, right? Always showing the behind the scenes, keeping it authentic. Well, here's the most authentic thing I'll ever post. My stalker is dead, but he won't leave me alone. It started at VidCon 2024. Alex Kennedy. He seemed so normal at first, waited in line twice to meet me, said he was just starting out as a creator, wanted advice. I get that a lot. The second time through, he was wearing this faded UCLA shirt, and when he mentioned it was his lucky shirt but getting too worn out, I actually took the time to help. Found a Sharpie, drew a little heart, wrote, "Chase your dreams, XO, Bree." Even posed for an extra photo with him holding up the shirt. He had tears in his eyes, said it was the kindest thing anyone had ever done for him. God, I actually felt good about it, like I'd made a real connection with a fan. He was buried in that shirt. So I gave him my business email, managed by Sammy, my roommate slash bestie slash brand manager, because yeah, I learned that lesson early. The first real warning sign came 3 days after VidCon. I was filming a morning routine video in my kitchen, just me making my signature matcha latte. When I watched the footage back, there he was, a glimpse through my apartment window, just standing there on the street, staring up, 30 floors up, and somehow he found my exact window. I told myself it was a coincidence. It wasn't. A week later, he had my personal email, then my phone number, then my parents' address in San Diego. Each time I blocked him, he'd find a new way. Every coffee shop post became a chance for him to accidentally be there. Every gym selfie became a risk. I had to stop doing my nail salon reviews because he'd just be there, waiting. The worst part? He was good at it. Too good. Found out later that he worked in IT, which explains how he kept finding me, how he knew things I never posted. Like the night I ordered Thai food at 2 a.m. and didn't post about it. Yet somehow he knew exactly what I'd ordered, down to the extra spring rolls. He sent an identical order to my door the next night with a note. Great minds think alike. I later found out he had been in and out of therapy for years. His last therapist, Dr. Taylor Oldner, broke confidentiality after his death to warn me. She showed me his session recordings, his voice calm and measured as he explained how we were meant to be, how he had failed with his previous attempts at love, but had learned from his mistakes, how physical distance was just an illusion, and that true connection transcends bodies. He talked about you differently than the others, Dr. Martinez said. With Jenny, he was angry when she rejected him, but with you, he was confident, peaceful. Like he knew something we didn't. In our last session, he said, "Death is just a door, Dr. Oldner, and I finally found the key." Then came the gifts. Small things at first. A coffee exactly how I like it, but never posted about, left at my door. a rare Japanese skincare product I'd only mentioned wanting in private DMs with Sammy. But they got darker. A photo album full of pictures of me sleeping. A doll with my exact outfit from that day. Handmade, with real human hair that looked suspiciously like mine. Security cameras caught him doing loops around my building at night. Sammy started managing all my accounts, but it didn't matter. He was always one step ahead. The breaking point came during my sister's wedding. I hadn't posted about it anywhere. We kept it completely offline. But halfway through the ceremony, I got a text. "You look beautiful in that bridesmaid dress. The burgundy really brings out your eyes." He was there, somewhere, watching. My sister's perfect day, and I spent it scanning the crowd, jumping at shadows. It got really bad when I started dating another creator. Alex lost it, made dozens of accounts claiming we were secretly together. Said he was saving me from the superficial influencer lifestyle. Said he was the only one who really saw me, not the carefully curated Instagram version. One night, I found all my Instagram photos edited. Every single one where I was with a guy had their face replaced with Alex's. Thousands of photos dating back years. The captions were all changed to "Finally showing our love to the world" and "My soulmate since day one." Sammy changed all my passwords, but it didn't matter. He'd gotten into everything. Then he died. That night 6 weeks ago, when he crashed his car into the tree outside my apartment. I thought it was an accident. The police said he was going 90 miles per hour. No brake marks. I should have known better. Alex never did anything without a plan. The funeral was surreal. I went. My therapist said it would help with closure. His parents were there, both professors, looking shell-shocked, probably still trying to understand how their brilliant computer science son became that. But it was his sister's speech that haunted me. She talked about his recent obsession with the afterlife and how he'd been telling her that physical death isn't the end of love. I felt sick. The police searched his place after, found hundreds of photos of me, journals about our future life together. But that wasn't the worst part. They also found evidence connecting him to Jenny Reeves' disappearance in 2023. Jenny was another influencer, smaller following, around 50K, focused on tech reviews. She vanished from her Seattle apartment 2 years ago. The police found her phone in a park, her last post a review of a VPN service. At the time, everyone assumed she had a mental breakdown. There had been some posts about anxiety, about feeling watched. Now we know why. In Alex's storage unit, they found a box of her things, hair ties, a phone charger, her laptop wiped clean. No body though, just a journal entry in Alex's spidery handwriting. Jenny didn't understand. She fought too hard. Next time will be different. I couldn't stop shaking when Detective Morris told me she had been trying to build a case against Alex for months. But he was careful, too smart. "These types," she said, "they escalate." Jenny was his practice run. His parents came to see me a week after the funeral. His mother, Dr. Rachel Kennedy, a small woman with tired eyes, brought his childhood journals. "We tried," she kept saying, showing me psychiatric referrals dating back to his teens. He was so brilliant, but something was wrong. He saw connections that weren't there, believed in destinies and signs. His father, stern in his Oxford shirt and wire-rimmed glasses, looked older than his photos. "In college," he said, Alex became obsessed with a teaching assistant, convinced their souls were quantum entangled. He hacked her devices, followed her for months. We got him into therapy, but they showed me the therapist's notes. Age 15, patient displays concerning fixation on ideas of predetermined destiny and perfect matches. Age 19, increasingly elaborate delusions about spiritual connections, refuses medication. Age 24, patient has stopped attending sessions, claims to have found a better way to achieve his goals. The last time we saw him, his mother said. He was excited, happier than he'd been in years. He said he'd finally found the one, you, and that he'd figured out how to transcend physical barriers. We thought the therapy was finally working. We didn't understand. She started crying then. His father just stared at his hands. We should have tried harder, he said. Should have seen what the happiness meant. He wasn't better. He had just finally found his solution. They found his research notes after that. All these books and websites about spirits, about how ghosts can touch the living, about near-death experiences, pages and pages of notes about how physical restraining orders can't stop a spirit. And there was a USB drive labeled For Bree, When You Understand. I haven't watched it yet. Can't bring myself to. But the police tech who did said Alex recorded himself explaining everything, how death wasn't the end, but a beginning, how he'd finally found a way to be with me that no one could stop. He crashed by my apartment on purpose, picked that exact tree, wanted me to see it every day, to remember. It wasn't an accident. It was a goddamn marriage proposal, a whole written script for a marriage proposal video he never filmed. His last post before he died? Some loves are forever. Some connections transcend physical limitations. He meant it literally. It started with the usual ghost stuff. Lights flickering, weird smells, phone glitches. But then, more. His cologne in my empty bathroom, that leather jacket he always wore, glimpsed in corners, sometimes solid, sometimes smoke. But his eyes, God, his eyes are still the same. That hungry, obsessive look. At first, I thought he was just haunting me. Standard ghost stuff, right? But then I started noticing the pattern. How he'd whisper to me when I was most vulnerable. 3 a.m. alone, scrolling through hate comments. How he'd appear in reflections when I was taking my anxiety meds. Always with that same gentle suggestion. It's so easy, Bree. Just let go. The first direct attempt was subtle. A whispered suggestion as I stood on my balcony. We could be together right now. Just one step. His voice, so close, almost convincing. I backed away, but the thought lingered. That's how he works, plants ideas, lets them grow. But I didn't want to be with him. I just wanted it to end. The second time was more direct. All my pills arranged in a heart on my bathroom counter. It would be peaceful, he whispered, like falling asleep. Then we'd wake up together. I flushed them all, called my doctor shaking, got new prescriptions sent to a different pharmacy. But each time I resist, he gets angrier. The loving whispers turn to hisses. The gentle suggestions become demands. Last week, I found my entire camera roll replaced with photos of that tree, the one he crashed into. Hundreds of angles, all taken at night. In each one, his ghost got clearer, more solid, more angry. You're just like Jenny, he snarled one night, his form flickering like static. She didn't understand either. Fought it. Made me get creative. His face softened then, reaching for me with those cold hands. But I know you're different, Bree. You'll understand. You have to. He started showing me visions, flashes of what our life could be. Us together, both translucent, dancing through walls, eternally young, eternally in love. No more brands, no more whispers, no more followers, no more pretending. Just us forever. The worst part? Sometimes, when I'm exhausted from fighting, it almost sounds peaceful. But I see through it now, the way he times his appearances when I'm most tired, most alone, how he corrupts every moment of joy, appearing in mirrors when I'm getting ready for a date, standing behind my friends in photos until I'm too scared to see them. He's trying to isolate me, wear me down, make death seem like an escape. Last night, After I deleted yet another social media account he had hacked, his rage finally broke through. The temperature dropped so fast my windows frosted. "Why won't you just die?" he screamed, his form massive, distorted. Pictures flew off my walls. My phone shattered. Lights exploded. "I did this for us." Then, just as suddenly, he was himself again, gentle, loving, brushing my hair back with those icy fingers. "I'm sorry, baby. I just love you so much. Can't you see how perfect it would be? No more fighting, no more fear. Just take those pills, or open a vein, or join me at that tree. Choose your path, but choose soon. I'm getting impatient." But last night was different. I was doing my skincare routine. Shut up, I know how that sounds, but fear isn't an excuse for bad pores. And the mirror fogged up. His handwriting appeared. "We can be together now, Bree." I told him to leave, out loud, like a crazy person. "Don't you get it? I did this for us." His voice right behind me. When I turned, he was there, more solid than ever, reached for my face with this ice-cold, transparent hand. "We can be together forever," he whispered. "No more restraining orders, no more police, no more parents or managers keeping us apart. Just us." I felt pressure on my throat, gentle at first, like a cold caress, then tighter. His face was rapturous, loving. "Don't fight it, Bree. I've waited so long. We can finally be together." I ran to Sammy's room. I'm here now typing this, but I can feel him waiting, patient, because that's the thing about ghost stalkers. They have all the time in the world, and I finally understand what he means by forever, why he's so happy, why he doesn't care that he's dead. He's waiting for me to join him. The Forbes 30 under 30 girl who always keeps it real. Here's the realest thing I've got. I'm terrified. My therapist thinks it's PTSD. My parents think I need different meds. The police? Well, try telling them your dead stalker is trying to turn you into his ghost bride. Sometimes, at 3 a.m., when I'm so tired of being scared, there's this tiny voice wondering if giving in would be easier than fighting forever. And I know that's exactly what he wants, what he's waiting for. I can smell his cologne again. Sammy's asleep. He's here, standing in the doorway. But something's different. His form is more solid than ever, almost opaque. The smile on his face. God, I've never seen him look so happy. "It's time, Bree." His voice sounds almost normal. "I've been so patient, but I can't wait anymore." The temperature in the room plummets. My fingers are going numb as I type this. I can see my breath. "No more running." He's closer now. "No more fighting." Jenny fought. Look what happened to her. I throw my phone at him. It passes right through, shatters against the wall. Stupid. I scramble off the bed, but he's everywhere. His form splitting into multiple versions of himself, surrounding me, each one with that same loving smile. "I found you, you know," he whispers. And now his voice is coming from all of them. After her spirit. She was so angry at first, but then she understood. They all do eventually, and so will you. I run. Through the Alexes, through the door, down the hallway. Ice crystals crunch under my bare feet. The walls are frosting over. In the living room, everything electronic goes haywire. TV flashing, lights strobing, my laptop screen showing hundreds of pictures of us together. Photos that were never taken. Photos of what could be. Our wedding. Our forever. Then my phone buzzes. Detective Morris. My hands are shaking as I answer. "We found her," she says without preamble. "Jenny. Construction crew at his old apartment complex, behind a false wall he built in the maintenance room. He kept her there for months. Left food, water, wrote her poems. The wall was covered in photos of them together. His face photoshopped over her boyfriend's. The coroner says she lasted almost 6 months before." I feel sick because I recognize that maintenance room. He showed it to me in one of his visions, called it our special place, said he'd improved it, made it perfect for us. "There's more," Morris continues. "We found preparations, a second space, newly built, with your photos, your favorite snacks, your skincare products, all arranged like a shrine, or a waiting room." The call drops. The temperature plummets. "You weren't supposed to know about that yet," Alex says behind me. "It was going to be a surprise, our special place. But now we don't need it anymore." His voice hardens. "Now we'll have to do this the hard way." "Sammy!" I scream. But I know it's useless. She always sleeps with headphones on. He appears in front of me, solid as life, eyes blazing with that obsessive love. "I did this for us," he says, reaching for me. Everything. The research, the practice runs, Jenny, the crash, all for this moment. I grab the nearest weapon, a coffee mug, and swing. It passes through him. But the coffee inside, still hot, doesn't. He screams, his form rippling, and then he laughs. "That's what I love about you," he says, his form resolving again. "So much fight. Jenny just cried, begged, but you're special. You'll be the perfect ghost bride." The lights explode. Glass rains down. In the dark, he starts to glow. "I'll make it quick," he promises. Painless. A moment of pressure, and then eternity. Together. His hands are around my throat. Solid, cold, real. I'm typing this on my Apple Watch. If anyone finds this, tell Sammy I'm sorry. Tell my parents I love them. He's squeezing. The watch is slipping. I can see Jenny behind him now, and others. So many others. Message sent, 3:47 a.m. 911 call transcript, 3:52 a.m. Dispatcher. 911, what's your emergency? Caller. Hello? Is anyone there? He's here. Alex, can't breathe. Ma'am, what's your location? Cold, so cold. We're tracing your call. Stay with me. Others. I see the others. They're all... Line disconnects. 3:53 a.m. Call traced to 2750 Westbrook Avenue, apartment 3002. At 3:47 a.m., officers arrived 3:59 a.m. to find the door unlocked. Apartment interior temperature recorded at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, despite heating system running at maximum capacity. Frost patterns covered all surfaces, with distinct sets of footprints visible. Small, barefoot prints, victim, and larger prints showing crystalline patterns instead of typical shoe treads. All prints terminated at the balcony, which stood open, its handle encased in ice. No signs of forced entry on access points. Victim, Bree Montgomery, 19, discovered on balcony, positioned face up. Cause of death appears to be strangulation. Distinct handprint shaped bruising on neck showed evidence of severe frostbite. Security cameras in building hallway malfunctioned between 3:40 and 4 a.m., displaying only static and inexplicable temperature warnings. Witness Samantha Winters, 21. Roommate. Didn't hear or see anything unusual. Found in adjoining bedroom. Temperature 72. Case remains open. And so, dear listeners, we emerge from another dark corner of Carmen's crypt. But remember, the horrors you've heard tonight are merely echoes of the terrors that await in the shadows of your own mind. If you enjoyed your stay in the crypt, why not invite a friend to join us next week? After all, fear is best when shared. Leave a review if you dare, or share your own tales of terror on my social media. Who knows, your nightmares might just become my next story. Until next time, keep checking under your bed. And remember, in Carmen's crypt, every fear comes alive, and no one is truly safe. Sweet dreams, if you can still sleep at all.